Since the Bourbon Street terror attack, there have been questions about why more security wasn't in place to prevent a vehicle from plowing into crowds on Bourbon Street.
Work to replace the broken bollards was delayed, despite warnings the French Quarter could be targeted for an attack. Brendan Keefe reports.
Broken barriers, unprotected sidewalks, tourists from around the world. Bourbon Street was an attractive target for a terrorist, and records show the city of New Orleans knew that for years. Now, the sidewalks of the French Quarter are protected by these archer barriers. How did the city deploy these so quickly? Because New Orleans already had them, though the NOPD superintendent says she didn't know they even existed until the attack.
Actually, we have them. I didn't know about them, but we have them. And so we have been able now to put them out.
The archer barriers were deployed for major events like Mardi Gras over the years, but not for this New Year's and Sugar Bowl. Test video shows the movable devices can effectively stop a truck in its tracks. Now they're in place on the sidewalk where the terrorists drove around the patrol car, blocking the street. On New Year's Day, bollards installed years ago were missing, and a backup wedge barrier wasn't raised. We've learned the bollards were installed in 2017 and cost $60,000 per set, according to a French Quarter Management District commissioner who said the bollards started failing within 6 months. Records show the commission has talked about pedestrian safety and bollards for years. In fact, the commission recommended bollard repair in 2019 after a security assessment, but the city did not put out bids for the replacement of the broken bollards until 2024. That work is still underway. There's no question there's one person responsible. It's the terrorist. But when you look at the fact that these bollards stopped functioning shortly after they were installed, and then there was a delay in replacing them, is that a concern?
Oh, absolutely.
Louisiana Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser had already proposed that the state take over maintenance of the French Quarter from the city before the attack.
You wouldn't have stopped it anywhere. But it just seems like had we had some of these things in place, it would have minimized the damage and loss of life.
There seems to have been a priority to remove the old bollards before there was a plan to replace them with new ones.
Absolutely.
The lieutenant governor and others are promising major reforms.
Some of the poles that could be installed on the sidewalk should be installed permanently. Permanently. In other cities, you walk around planters and different things to deter a vehicle from harming people. Cement planters.
Immediate changes are already visible on Bourbon Street, with more on the way.
That was Brendan Keefe reporting. The city of New Orleans has not responded to our national investigative team about where the temporary barriers have been over the last several years.